This is John, and today I'm going to be taking you back to where it all started. Bottom line is this. I have a daughter out there somewhere in the world that doesn't even know her father at all. And today, I'm going to be sharing that story with you. And I guess really before I start tell anything about this story, I need to look at it and the possibility that later on, at some point or another, you could be listening to this, Cheyenne. Yeah, that's right. That is her name, Cheyenne. I remember when me and her mom talked about names. We discussed this several times. We actually went through the alphabet. I remember going A through Z, and we were just thinking of names. But anyways, let me get ahead of myself. I need to take you guys back to where it all started. At the time, Cheyenne's mother was still married, and this was before she had got pregnant. We had met through some online games we were playing, and a lot of different things were actually going on. But we had met, and, one thing led to another, feelings tossed around here, and to my full understanding, she wasn't happy with her marriage at all at the time. And so I thought, okay, maybe it's okay that I'm talking to her, because I didn't want to interfere with, a relationship. And if I'd ever assumed that, that I was, then I would have never let things ever go as far as they did. But I think initially she had her own little plans anyways. And I don't know that the husband knew anything about it or not. But I think she did. She wanted a child. And yeah, this is before she even got pregnant. Her and her husband could not have a child at all. He just didn't have what it took. And before that, she had lost her only other child at a very young age. The father came, took the child, and that was it. There was no fighting it or whatever. And I can't judge that really because I don't know exactly what happened. But yeah, so she had a kid before and lost it. After we had, been talking for quite some time, she had told me it was her. I remember it was around Thanksgiving, and she had told me how they didn't have any family where she was, because where she was at the time was her husband was going to a piano school, learning to become a tuner or something, and she said, we don't have no family for the holidays. And I felt bad for that. I thought, wow, that's horrible. So I invited her and unfortunately her husband out, because at the time they were still together. So when they came out, And of course, they flew out all the way from, well, no, actually, they came out on a train. I remember it. It was almost like it was just yesterday, but I remember her and her husband, and she had her guide dog. She was also visually impaired. I remember them coming out, and me and my soon-to-be ex-wife, because we were going through some problems ourselves, and of course that's where this will make more sense as I continue this story. Anyway, we picked them up, and they came and spent the holidays with us, and which we all had a really good time, because it seemed like the right thing to do, because I just couldn't picture anybody not having anyone to spend the holidays with, so anyways, they ended up staying for a couple months. And there was a few times that we would. I remember, New Year's, as a matter of fact, we got pretty wasted. Ended up drinking quite a bit. Of course, me and Cheyenne's mother, we messed around more than once, but of course, I take full responsibility. Drinking is not an excuse or a way to say, "Oh no, I'm not responsible." I took full responsibility, or at least I attempted to, and so we'd sit around one night, and she had told, I had company there that night, and she said, "I need to go get a test. I think I might be pregnant." Well, she had nonchalantly told other people about this. I had no idea until they came back. She took the test and came out and said, "Well, I'm pregnant." I knew automatically. There was no doubt in my mind. I knew I was a father. She knew as well. And of course, her husband was really happy. He's like, "Well, I did it. I finally got you pregnant. The doctors were wrong. I did it." And she knew he didn't do it. And so did I. But at the time, we was not ready to confront that. I was just thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Anyways, it was only about 2 weeks after that, maybe 3. I think it's mid-January, that they're ready to go back home. So, that's the last day that I saw her. I assumed that I was going to be seeing that baby. I assumed that all this was going to work out. We was going to work it out. She was going to go home, get the divorce that she wanted, or so-called wanted, and it was going to work out. But things definitely didn't go that way. And I think she knew it from the start. So when she got back home, she ended up telling him what happened. And of course, I obviously told my ex-wife what happened. I mean, it no matter what, it was something that nobody needed to lie about. So I told her, look, either tell him or not, but I'm telling her, and she'll tell him. So she ended up telling him, and he left for a little while, out of anger, obviously, and that was completely understandable. But I'd assumed that, well, they're getting divorced anyways, so, it'd be fine. So throughout the rest of that pregnancy, she was in Washington herself. I was in Ohio. We talked on the phone every day. Talked about, how she was going to have Cheyenne and all that stuff. Decided you're going to do a home birth or whatever. Deliver the baby from home. One of them, I guess, water things or whatever you call it. And things, I thought things were fine. Things are fine. I've got to save up money and get out there and all that, but things were fine. So she ended up having the baby. And that's when everything changed. That's also when we almost lost Cheyenne. She died in her mom's arms. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I couldn't sleep. I was trying to do everything in my power to get out there where she was. Luckily, the paramedics was able to bring Cheyenne back, able to revive her and do the things that they do. But after that, that's where everything changed. She went to ICU. Cheyenne was in ICU for over a month. And I'd been trying to go through the Ronald McDonald House to get something set up where I could stay in the room and all that. And I remember, obviously, they wasn't able to help me like I was wanting, just because the fact of how far away I was, and me and her wasn't married. Just all kinds of things were just piling up against me. And that's where everything really changed. That's where Cheyenne was released from the hospital. She had surgery, got better. Cheyenne's mom's ex-husband at the time, because they did get that divorce, came back out there, and she packed up and left. And I've never seen my daughter. And I don't know when that day had come, but I want Cheyenne to know the truth is, I tried. I tried to do what I could to get to see you, and Mom just wasn't having it. She just wasn't having it. the husband, he also, he was not for it either. So she was obviously listening to everything he said too. But bottom line is, she knew that they couldn't have a baby otherwise. Because when he came back, they got remarried and ran off. And here I am today. It takes something I don't got right now to even fight any of this, which is money. You got to have money to get a good lawyer. And so all I can do is put this out there for what it is, and hope one day that, that I'll see her and get to spend time with her. And there's a lot of work, because I've got to create a relationship all over. Well, not even all over, because I've never got to even hold her or touch her or hear, her first cry or her first laugh or any of it. And, I remember, there was several conversations I had, it was like, oh, no, that's wrong, it's wrong. No, the responsibility is for me to be a responsible father, and she took that away from me. So I hope one day that she'll come knocking on my door, or financially I will be able to step up and do something about it. That's another reason I started going to college, was so I could get a job and save and do something about it, because that's my daughter, regardless. Whether he took care of her or not, that's my daughter. And she will learn the truth, because that's the only right thing to do. So if you ever hear this, Cheyenne, one day, just know that I love you and that I'm waiting on you. I'll always be waiting on you. I love you. Thanks, guys.